fault. 1, 2, 1, 2. We good.
Yeah, man. We in here and shit, man. Again, welcome to the Damaged Goods podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back again this morning. Blessed and alive again, and thankful to be here.
Right.
And with all the other shit going on in the world, you know, pray for everybody that lost. But you can check us out at Amazon Audible, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Deezer Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. I think I said Apple already.
Yeah, you said Apple. I heard Apple.
Hit the Patreon
YouTube.
link. Hit YouTube, hit the Patreon link on the Instagram. Check out YouTube, subscribe.
Yeah. We was just sitting here talking about some of the classic albums that we all about, specifically of the 2000s.
About 06.
Yeah, 06. Yeah, but we'll go 06. We'll go 06. Great time.
Some people would disagree from older.
Yeah, the 90s type. Yeah, like our parents, of course, but
yeah, 80s.
Yeah, like that. But you know, we were just sitting here talking about all the great.
Tell them, we gotta start off by telling them how this whole thing came about.
Okay.
The Young Buck shit.
Yeah. Young Buck.
I don't feel
Well, he don't like Young Buck. I always was a fan of Young Buck's music from the Straight Out of Cashville. Yeah, definitely, Straight Out of Cashville. But he's going around telling people that Vlad. He told Vlad that he the reason why 50 got that big deal from vitamin water. We don't know the story behind it, but he truly believes that, and if he helped you, man, break that man off, man. Give him some money, man. He out here fucked up.
Yeah, man. I mean, in general, man, like Young Buck, you know, I think that, you know, Fifth had helped a lot of those guys out, and hey man, you know, I remember I heard Nas say this shit. Remember the rapper Quan that came out?
Yeah.
The little dude that was in that song, but Nas, they had a little fallout that was real similar. A lot of people didn't know about. You got this on like YouTube, it's called The Quads and the Quan and Nas beat. But yeah, it reminds me of that though, because I remember when Nas was talking about, he was trying to like disrespect him and say he ain't do nothing, ain't help him, woo. And Nas was like, yo, like, I put you on the album. You didn't have to do that, you know what I'm saying? And I basically gave you a handoff. Like, you had to do your own thing and work
around with
shit.
Yeah.
And he said, like, you know, I'm not gonna sit and hold your hand, you know what I mean? And like, eventually they squashed it, but the point I got from it was that, like, sir, like, you get an opportunity, your man get on or something like that, can't really get mad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can only do so much because that's just they may have limited power to do a lot. Like, so, like, all the things that you may imagine, they may not have the power to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even with 50, putting all them on, he didn't even know Young Buck because he wasn't originally a street member of the G Unit Street Squad.
Nah, he from Memphis, Tennessee.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, the original G Unit was like Bag 'em Smurf and Tony Ayo and them niggas.
Yeah.
Lloyd Banks wasn't even really like when they was going back and forth in the streets.
Right.
And the real shootouts, all that shit, like the drama. Lloyd Banks kind of came later.
Right.
And he was just kind of smooth nigga and shit like that. But yeah, man, like I just look at it like when he helped all those people, when he helped Game and all that stuff, 50 blessed them niggas to change their life. Young Bucks gotta stop being so bitter. And but let's focus on, you know, the core of it, which is during that time, I think it's arguably, and some people disagree, you got your own opinion, but I think the Beg for Mercy album, as far as a rock trio, was a classic. And at that time that, you know, they were like that shit, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah, because everybody was walking around with the G Unit tank tops, the shoes, everything.
And I just think, you know, for real, like I said, they lost Dre production. That was pretty much it. I don't think they would have made successfully come out with another project like that. And the fact that Game kind of started outshining everybody, that, like, to me was a whole different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because Game album was on a different level. We were just talking about that. It was all Dre produced. Basically, had features. And Eminem. I'm sorry. Yeah, Eminem produced too. Yeah.
It was shitty aftermath production. They was producing the shit together.
Yeah, right.
Fifth shit, they did it together. They produced Lloyd Banks Hunger for More.
Yeah. All their albums was actually good. That's what I'm saying. All their first albums was pretty much produced by Dre and them and everything like and all that. And if you go straight out of Cashville, Hunger for More, the documentary, Get Rich or Die Trying, you know what I mean? All them joints was hard, like, you know what I mean? It was just like, there's no flaws in the joint, man. And
honestly, like, I just feel like, again, like, when they had that powerhouse situation, I just feel like that was another reason why they dominated so much, you know what I mean? And I think that their momentum was lost, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I think they probably could have did it again if the thing didn't happen with Game, Dre, and 50.
Yeah.
I really think they could have came out with a hunger.
I wonder, was it necessary with the Game and 50 thing? Was it necessarily like Game wanted more money because what 50?
Remember, it all started from. If you, I don't remember at the time, but I remember, shout out to my homie Marcia and shit like that. I remember around that time, Marcia had to stop snitching DVD.
Yeah.
And we watched this shit like 30 times. So, I remember exactly what happened, but it started because at that time, remember when Fifth did, a little bit later after they fell out, he released the Massacre album.
Oh yeah.
He did Shine, Fat Joe, and Jadakiss.
And Nas.
And Nas.
And Nas. Yeah, so.
He wasn't fucking with that shit. Because he, a lot of people don't realize, a lot of Terror Squadians are on the West Coast. A lot of them are insane Crips as well. He already was familiar with a lot of the niggas from the street. And he was like, I'm not disrespecting Fat Joe. That's the last nigga I'm about to disrespect.
Right.
Because he knew what would happen when he went back home. That's how that shit started. And Fifth got personal about it. Fifth was like, oh, you not with us? Kind of like when Tupac said that shit to Snoop with the Biggie shit. Same type of thing. And so he like, nah, bro, I'm not about to diss that nigga. I know what come with that. You feel me? Type shit. I don't got no beef with him. I'm not stupid either.
Yeah. Because you over there by yourself.
Yourself. And you
I think in New York.
So on the DVD, he actually put like one of the dudes on that job. Wasn't like a whole gang of niggas on it. It was like one head dude, and he let him talk. And one of the Terror Squad members, this nigga was an active member and shit in another gang from the West Coast, and he confirmed it. He was like, "Nah, gang good. He can go wherever he want, from New York to the West Coast, because he did that shit. He good over here. He got a stamp." So it let me know it was like it all spiraled from that whole Fat Joe situation. And to some degree Shine too, because I remember I watched like a little interview and he was talking about even with Shine. He's just like, nah, bro, like I fuck with Shine. I'm not dissing him on the song. Fifth basically kicked him out and they was beefing. And then that Dre didn't want to be the person in the middle.
Right, the middle.
You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about it like, think of it this way too. Eminem really bought 50 Cent to Dre. Dre got Game himself. Eminem didn't find Game. You feel what I'm saying? Game got bought to Dre from his older brother from Compton. You see what I'm saying? So really Game was like more like Dre artist. So it was like they was feuding. And he knew, okay, if then man, I'm gonna have a problem. Then me and 50 gonna have a problem. Then Eminem and Game gonna have a problem.
Paul Rosenberg, it's gonna go all into the whole triple.
It was too many pulling from too many sides, so it was smart. It hurt because when we seen, he was mad. But like as an adult, I get it. It was the smartest thing to do to say, you know what? I'm just gonna stop with everybody. Y'all go your own ways. Everybody go their own ways. I'm not producing for nobody. I'm not producing our albums. And if I'm not mistaken, he dropped both of them from the label. If I'm not mistaken, I think I don't want to say that for sure. Don't quote me on that, but I think I don't think it was necessarily a drop, but I think they may have changed the contracts and shortened them or something. I think that's what. But I do remember.
Because I remember immediately when after that separation. 300 miles and running came. It came right out after that. It came right out after that. So
if I'm not mistaken, I think they both got dropped from the label, or he stopped after math altogether, or something like that. Because I remember even at that time, Busta Rhymes and Mary J. and I think Eve came back.
Right.
I remember we talked about the time when Eve was originally there, but then she came back. That's when they was like going to do some wild shit, and then they ended up just.